Welcome to my spoiler review for Mortal Kombat, which is now on HBO Max and streaming on there as well as in theaters. I've noticed some people internationally are unable to see this movie, and that's too bad because Mortal Kombat's a big deal all over the world. But we're going to go into spoilers here in this review. My non-spoiler review already covered some stuff. With this review, though, I want to talk about really some of my more, going more in depth on the story, okay? So, last warning, spoilers, here we go. Alright, the lack of Johnny Cage. I knew that they were going to tease it somehow, and at the end of the movie, when he said Hollywood, California, I knew, okay, Johnny Cage. So, the movie is a little bit of a prequel, in a way, but it's also like a loose... Okay, it's weird to me that it's a Mortal Kombat movie with no tournament. Like, that was weird to me. At least the sequels should have, like, maybe no tournament. But here there was, like, no tournament at all until, like, close to the end where it was like, okay, we're going to give them the tournament now, but it really wasn't the tournament. Like, that was a little odd, but I didn't hate it. The main problem with this movie, I think, is the acting. I think that's really the issue. Outside of Kano, the other characters, I just didn't care about them. Liu Kang is the main character of Mortal Kombat, and to me, he should have been the main character. I mean, he's the champion. To me, he's always been the main character in my eyes. Not just because of the original 95 Mortal Kombat movie, but because the games too. And Kung Lao as well. But here they were kind of like side characters that were kind of vanilla. Sonya Blade was not that interesting. Jax, the acting on his character was okay, and I do, even though it doesn't make any sense how his armor, like his arms got like gigantic all of a sudden, but I guess that's his power. And I'll be honest with you, I did not like that whole like kill somebody and you get their abilities thing, or you get the Mortal Kombat like the birthmark. I thought that was kind of stupid, honestly. It's I understand it's something different, but like it just feels, I don't know, I didn't like that idea. I mean, if you liked it, cool. I didn't like it. The blood and the gore I thought were great. The fatality, especially Kung Lao's fatality, was the best thing about the movie. Dude, I love that. Sonya Blade's fatality was kind of cool. Actually, Kano ripping out Reptile's heart I thought was awesome, even though I really was hoping we'd see Reptile with his actual Reptile, like, with the green suit. The original Mortal Kombat film from 95 had an awesome fight with Reptile and Liu Kang. Remember that fight? Really enjoy that. This one, like I said in my non-spoiler review, the fights, like the final fight at the end of the film, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, like Scorpion just coming back to life, yes, that is in line with the character, but it's not really a Scorpion story. So it was a bit weird that like he just comes back to life and it becomes a 2-on-1 thing. Again, there's just choices they made in this movie that I did not agree with, but the costumes were great. Goro, I thought, looked spectacular. Like, I felt like Goro, that was the one thing that kind of blew my mind, because I really liked the way that Goro looked in the original. I thought they did a great job with him, and in this movie, he looked just as good. Actually, very similar to the original Goro from the 95 Mortal Kombat movie. And the fight with him, like, and Cole, where he got his powers, like, it was fun, and it was gory, no pun intended, but it would have been more satisfying if an actual Mortal Kombat character took out Goro. Having Cole, the whole thing about the movie is all about Cole. Like, there's things I liked about this movie a lot. Like, I did like the references, like, flawless victory and, the nut punch and things like that. I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the accuracy of the Scorpion character, and then Sub-Zero, the Lin Kuei, and all these, references to the games. I like that, but like I said in my non-spoiler, if you're not a fan of the games, you're not going to really get that. Like, you're not going to really understand. Like, it was almost like they were doing that for the fans of the game. Like, homages. And that's nothing wrong with that, but I do wonder people who are not fans of the game, if they're going to even understand the references. You know what I mean? The Kung Lao fatality is my favorite one. I mentioned that. Sonya Blade killing Kano and then getting the little purple blaster things. Like, I kind of saw it coming, honestly, but I'm kind of bummed out because Kano's my favorite part about the movie. Cabal talking like a mobster. Yeah, you know what? You full of fucking shit. It was hilarious to me, and not in a good way, but it was still hilarious. Like I said in my non-spoiler, the movie was a B movie. Like, it felt like a straight-to-Blu-ray movie, like straight-to-DVD movie. It didn't feel like a theatrical movie at all. Like, from a perspective of a movie, it just wasn't that good. I mean, I'm sorry. There was really weird ADR work. There was really weird editing in this movie. It felt incomplete. It felt choppy. I mean, it's just not a very well made movie. I'm sorry. Some people, we have to stop being fanboys sometimes and look at things objectively. And I think a lot of people go in the fanboy culture, fangirl culture, they enjoy these things because, oh, look, I recognize that. Like with Star Wars. Hey, look, it's an X-Wing. It's an AT-AT. I recognize those things. Hey, look, it's lightsabers. Like, Disney threw that at us for years and the movies weren't even that good. Whereas Mortal Kombat, I think, was kind of doing the same thing. At least the movie had more of a semblance of a story. But I feel like the original 95 Mortal Kombat film was a lot more accurate and a lot more of a representation of what the first game was than this was. Goro was completely wasted. He was built up a lot more in the original Mortal Kombat movie, and when Johnny Cage killed him, it was much more satisfying, in my opinion. Here, it was just kind of lame, honestly. I liked the gore. But the thing is, I grew up watching gory movies, so that stuff, I'm kind of desensitized to it, and it wasn't even real blood anyways, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I guess maybe if I was younger, I would have dug it more, but as a grown person, it's like, whatever, like, I'm used to that by now, and I became more of a lore guy. Like, when Mortal Kombat first came out, it was all about the lore and the gore, and I became much more of a lore guy than a gore guy. I love the backstories of Mortal Kombat characters, like the Lin Kuei, like the different ninja groups. I love the story of Noob Saibot, like especially what they came up with in the more recent Mortal Kombat games. I love the with Bi-Han, which was kind of a weird reference in this movie. I love Outworld and Shao Kahn. I loved how in this movie you saw like that mural where they show Shao Kahn, like they kind of are teasing it. And I did enjoy when Shang Tsung picked up Kung Lao and took his soul. Like, that scene was pretty horrifying, you know what I mean, to me. And it was actually more horrifying in the movie than even in the original. So that's one thing they got better in this version. Even though I kind of wish that Shang Tsung was an old man, like in the first Mortal Kombat film, and then really became young later. I thought Mortal Kombat game. Because remember, Shang Tsung was an old man in the first game, and then he absorbed more souls to become young in the second game. But that was fine. Sub-Zero, I mean, honestly, Sub-Zero was the biggest badass in this movie, yo. Like, if you're a Sub-Zero fan, which I am, he got the most screen time of any character. The fight with Jax, freezing his arms and breaking them. Like, I knew what they were going to do when we saw that happen. Seeing him freeze the gun, like, and then I love how, like, he would use his powers. Like, you just kind of saw the ice building up around people, and then he would show up, like a horror entrance. Like, that was really cool. But, like, we're supposed to care about Cole's family, but we don't really see much of them. They were kind of shoehorned in as, like, oh, we have to care about him because he has a family. Like, all right. The story just didn't hold up for me. It just doesn't work. The fight scenes were okay, I guess, and the fatalities were cool. But outside of that, like, if you're not a fan of the games, like I said, I am a big fan of the games. It just didn't work for me, and like at the end with Raiden was like unusually aggressive here and kind of a prick, and like, he had all this power, but like it was very inconsistent how he would allow certain things and not allow certain things. Like, he won't allow an invasion, he won't get involved, but dude, they're breaking the rules of Mortal Kombat. Like, he's saying elder gods should not get involved, but then he does get involved by sending Shang Tsung back. Why didn't you just do that at the beginning of the movie? Like, oh, well, I shouldn't get involved, but now I'm going to get involved? Like, that was dumb. That was dumb to me. There's a lot of things about this movie that I thought were dumb, honestly. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Again, I wanted a better Mortal Kombat movie. I really did. I love Mortal Kombat. And again, I still think the 95 movie's better than this one. I love that film. I love... And also... What the 95 movie had this one didn't was charismatic actors. Robin Show's charismatic. The guy who plays Johnny Cage is charismatic. I forget his name. Christopher Lambert as Raiden. I don't think so. Like, he was charismatic. You know what I mean? Even the guy from the second movie who played Raiden, the jabroni from Fast and Furious, he's charismatic. Like, you gotta have charismatic actors. And these characters, or these actors here, with the exception of Kano, just couldn't carry it. It was a B movie, bro. It was a B movie. It was like a cheap movie. And I like movies like that. And this was a fun watch, but I'm not going to go back and see it again for a long time, if ever. Like, when a sequel comes out, if they even do it, because they did build up to the actual tournament, hopefully happening in the next one, where we'll have new characters and whatnot, great. But outside of just being a fan of the games, I'd rather just play the games, honestly. I'd rather just go back and play Mortal Kombat 9, 10, 11. Just enjoy that, So if you're not a fan of the games, just skip it. And if you are, watch it once and let me know what you think. I'll talk to you soon.